What it is. We are back with another one. Check it out. We talking trenches again. You know the theme here. This time we going to the defensive side of the ball, and we talking defensive tackles. Yeah, I know. Somebody's gone now, and this ain't replacing that person per se, but it is looking to not only add depth to your team, but also somebody that you could develop in the future to be one of those defensive tackles that the Giants always seem to land on whenever they lose one. So we're going to be looking at some prospects. You know how we do it over here. We go round by round and give you some targets in the early rounds, mid rounds, late rounds. That's what we're going to do. Hit that like and subscribe button. But before we get into it, Pat, what's good with you, man? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. We're talking about the trenches. Like, I always got to feel good when you're talking about the trenches. And yes, we did lose one big trench player, probably one of the best trench players in the league, and Dexter Lawrence. But hey, look, we got your back. We're going to talk about some defensive tackles that we can get round by round, man. You know how we do around here with our content, man. We give you exclusive content. So tune in, sit back, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man, and let's talk some trench football, man. Trench warfare right here on Unpopular Opinion Sports and the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. Let's get it.
Let's get straight into it, man. It's draft season. Let's go.
With the first pick in the 2000 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select
ABSN. Welcome to Mock Draft Central, live on the ABSN.
All right, we are back, and we're going to dive right into it. Top 5 defensive tackle fits for the New York Giants. Now, when we talking about fits, hey, this is a guy that fits, I think, any scheme, and that's Kaden McDaniel. He is our top defensive tackle in this draft, and guess what? The Giants now have 2 first-round picks, so he could be squarely in the mix here. Look, 6'2", 326. Ran a 5.15, but this dude is a pure nose tackle. I mean, he's going to eat up blocks, and he might eat your sandwich, your cornbread, and everything else you got on your table. So again, Kaden McDaniel is a dude. Ohio State, you know how that defense get down. I do not have to say much. I'm going to pass it over to my bro. Pat, man, what you like about Kaden McDonald?
And is what John Harbaugh loves at the nose tackle position, man. He's big, he's strong, 6'2", 326, man. That's a big body going in there. And he actually has a little bit more speed than you expect for a guy moving around at that size, man. He's one of the fat boys, man. You put one of them fat boys there, let them clog the middle of that line of scrimmage. State tape. He was one of the guys that allowed Avril Reese and Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs to go in and do the damage that they were doing, man. He's very important. So with a guy like this, putting him at the defensive tackle, nose tackle position, letting him get in there and cause some pressures and clog the middle of that lane, yeah. The only thing that you talk about Kaden McDonald is maybe the height, but when it comes to actually getting leverage, I think he's the perfect height, 6'2", long arms, very strong, knows how to use balance and knows how to use leverage, man. I think It's one of the perfect candidates to put at that nose tackle position to lead us into the future. I mean, yeah, especially if you could trade back from that number 10 pick. Maybe you go back down to 15, 16, maybe even 20. And if he's there, I wouldn't mind the Giants taking him. Just pure honesty.
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting now because you do have McDonald is going to go high in this draft. I'm assuming at least top 20-ish. So maybe the Giants explore trade down with one of their first round picks. And I think that's the ideal situation to pick up a cat like Kaden McDaniel. But I would not be mad at all if they went this route, bro. Like, this dude is a beast. He's a monster.
Would you be mad if they took him at 10?
I wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it. I would understand it. I'd understand that more than a running back at 5, honestly.
So the only thing I would hate is now if you do take him at 10, now he's officially the Dexter Lawrence replacement. You see what I'm saying? That's the moniker that they're gonna put on him.
Yeah.
So
that's the only thing. But talent-wise, I think that's not a bad pick. Talent-wise, in this particular draft, where there's not a lot of blue chip prospects, I think talent-wise, Kaden McDaniel at 10 is not a bad pick. But I would hesitate to do that if I was the New York Giants. I would target him in the 15, 16-ish range if you can get a trade down of some sort. I think that is ideal for Kaden McDaniel. But
yeah, people don't understand, man, when it comes to this draft, where you take these players matters too. But go ahead.
Yeah, it does. It does. Very much so. But let's get into our next target. All right. So we got Mr. Lee Hunter here, Texas Tech. 6'4", 318, 5'18", 40 time. Now, Lee Hunter, I think, gives you a little bit more pass rush ability. Maybe so. Than McDaniel, but he's a fat guy. He's a nose tackle. You know what I'm saying? He can play that middle too, man, but maybe a little more versatile. Maybe a little bit of better fit for the scheme that the New York Giants are going to be running. But we got the football aficionado here. Big Pat Sports Talk. Talk to him about Lee Hunter, Pat.
Lee Hunter, one of my favorite defensive tackles in this draft, and if we could get him at 37, that would be amazing. See, Lee Hunter offers pass rush and clogs the middle when it comes to stopping the run. Not like Kaden McDaniel can't do it, but this guy here I think is a little bit more versatile for our scheme. I think he's the perfect guy to put right there at nose tackle, especially if you're able to get somebody like a DJ Reader and let him learn from DJ Reader for a year. I think that will help this guy out tremendously. He has power. He plays with very good, though he's 6'4", he's 318. He might got down to 318 because I think this dude's more like 325, 328, somewhere through that area. And he has burst to be that big. Like, when you go look at this man's film, this dude gets it done, bro. So this is a guy that, like I said, in the second round, perfect pick at number 37 for the New York Giants. I like everything about this kid, man. He was one of the leaders of that Texas Tech stalwart defense this past year, and I don't see why you would skip past a guy like this at number 37 if you're looking for a nose tackle in this draft.
Yeah, the thing is about Lee Hunter, he may go in the first.
Yep, I think he might slip into that bottom of that first round.
Because, you know, there's again, you know, this is not a like a huge type trench draft. There's some good prospects in it, but, you know, Caleb Banks has some injury concerns. You know, Peter Woods, for some reason, I don't know. I don't know if he's sliding or what. You know what I mean? But Kaden McDaniel's definitely number one. So you could see Lee Hunter jump over a Peter Woods, or Caleb Banks. So I mean that is definitely something to keep your eye on. But we got our eyes on the next prospect coming right back. All right, we are back with our second, third round target, and that is Damonte Corleone, aka the Godfather. I believe they call this man the Godfather, man, and he is built like a giant. 6 foot 340. Now 6 foot, that's short, but that 340, that frame, that allows him to get low. How low can you go? And low as in leverage, which is the name of the game with the fat boys in the trenches. So definitely like that from Damonte Corleone. Has good hand placement, good contact balance. Now, his arm length, 31 and 3/7. And we talked about the height, but at 340, you ain't moving, pushing this dude around nowhere. He is a nose tackle. And so that's how I see Damonte Corleone. But what you see out there, man, on the tape?
Damonte Corleone. I like Damonte Corleone, man, the Godfather. I think his height actually works to his advantage. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. When you're that big and have that low center of gravity, and you're moving that weight and you're moving people, I like this pick. If we could get this dude between the third and fourth rounds, he's a fat boy, man. That's what we need down there, man. And he has a pretty good get off considering his size. So if he's already low to the ground, the low man wins when it comes to leverage. I think he has an advantage in that area. Now, you're going to want to see what he does against double teams in the NFL, because he handled double teams pretty well in college, but it's a different game. So can he overcome the short arm lift? I think you said 31 and 7/3/8, so you really want him to be around 33. But we'll see, man. Does that power transcend into the NFL? Because he was bullying people at Cincinnati. Like you can see he was putting people out the club. So we can get a guy, man. We can get a guy like this who can move actually pretty well for that big frame. We might have us a very good nose tackle for the future. And like I said, with them going to be able to sign DJ Reader after the draft because we want that compensatory fourth round pick. I think this is a stash pick, and this is a guy that you can get him a lot of good playing time towards the end of games, and definitely put him in the preseason and make him play the whole preseason to see what you got in the Godfather, man. But I think he's a giant, man. I like him.
Yeah, man. Definitely like Mr. Damonte Corleone, aka the Godfather, out of Cincinnati. Now, the Giants don't have a third round pick. So you only got that 1 second round pick. I propose you take that second round pick, trade back a little bit, and try to get you a third. Because a lot of those prospects that fall out the first round, teams are going to be trading up, trying to get them. The Giants, with 3 picks in the top 50, should have an opportunity to trade down at some point. And we're giving you some good targets here because you got to pick up more talent on the defensive tackle, at the defensive tackle position. You had to do that anyway, whether you kept Dexter Lawrence or not. You was going to have to do that. So, yeah, this is a dude, man. This is a dude. Let's get to the next one. All right, man. Got our fourth round target here, Mr. Daryl Jackson Jr. out of Florida State. 6'6", 315. Yeah, he's a 5.0540. Daryl Jackson Jr. out of Florida State. Now, you know, I see some things in him, bro. You know what I'm saying? That you were talking about. You know, I think he has the ability to play various roles across your defensive line. Probably gonna be more of a 3-tech. So again, you know, not the big fat guy that you're looking for, but he can be a versatile piece on your defense. He has size, length, those arms, like I said, it'll allow him to shed blocks. So this is a guy I think can give you some more pass rush ability, you know, if that's something that you're looking for from that spot. Pat, this was guy you pointed out when we was making this list. What did you see in Daryl Jackson Jr. That you like?
I like Daryl Jackson Jr., man. He's long, lean, and he plays with pretty good power, but he's a 2-gapper. And what I mean by that, like you said, at the 3 technique, man, I'm very impressed with your football IQ since we've been doing this, brother. He's definitely a 3-tech. He's a 2-gapper. And what I mean by that is he can play 1 gap, shed, move to the next gap. He's like a poor man's Calais Campbell type, man. I know people know about Calais Campbell, man. The dude's still playing pretty good at 39, 40 years old. But this is a guy that you want to put next to somebody like DJ Reader or Corleone and let him go out there and do damage and play 2 gaps for you. What I want him to do is you're going to have to coach him up, make him get faster off the line of scrimmage, because with that long and lean frame and those long arms, if he could get off the line of scrimmage when the ball is high, he could get those long arms into the guard's chest and let him push, pull, and let him play that 2-gap role that you want him to do. You want him to be able to play in the A gap and get out to the D gap if he has to when it comes to holding the edge against the run, because we're running a 3-4. So with him next to a Kayvon Thibodeau or next to a Brian Burns, you want him to be that guy that could take that guard and not allow them to get to the edge and let our linebackers come in there and make plays like Tremaine Edmonds or whoever, whether it's McFadden or whether it's Mualsa, whoever is going to be that second linebacker to Edmonds. This dude will help us control the gaps. He's a 2-gapper. He has the body to be a 2-gapper. Now you're going to have to decide what you want him to be, because I don't think he's a true nose tackle. I think he's like in the Darius Alexander mode where you have Alexander, Jackson, and DJ Reader and replace him with somebody like Corleone or somebody in the future. If you can get this guy in the 5th round, I think you got a steal. I really do think you got a steal with this kid because he's so long and lean. That's what we're missing on our defensive line as well. One of those long, lean, 2-gapper type dudes that get his hand in somebody's chest and just holds them there until, now I'm gonna shed you and get in there and try to get somebody. So this is a type of defensive tackle we are missing. And Darius Alexander, he can be in that mode, but he's not 6'6" with long arms like Hal Jackson is.
Yeah, I seen that 6'6", and I was like, man, this dude's he's less than 320, and it's like, whoa. But you know, when you look at him, I mean, yeah, you see that. You see what he can do. And again, the Giants could very well take this approach. And what I mean by this approach is, let's not try to get somebody to replace a Dexter Lawrence per se, but let's just build our depth out. You know what I'm saying? You can get these later round guys, have them come in and compete, you know, for a year, and then see, okay, well, we like this guy, boom, boom, boom. We don't need to take a D tackle, or maybe you need to fill out that true nose tackle role at that point. You know, because you gotta, if you're bringing in DJ Reader, a little older guy, so a veteran, at some point you want to go down the line. But I'm with you. If you take a cat like this, you know what I'm saying, and build out the rest of that defensive line, then you can get that big fat boy to plug and play, maybe next draft or in free agency or something. All right, man. We got more for you. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm coming back. All right. In round 5, our round 5 target, you may look for a cat out of Clemson. Wink, wink. Damonte Capehart. Damonte Capehart, 6'5", 313. So another slender lean frame, 3 tech. Ran a 4.85 40. But I like Capehart. Capehart definitely gives you pass rush upside. He did have he had a sack and 20 tackles last year at Clemson, but that's not, we talking about a 5th round prospect here. 33 and 7/8 inch arms. So there's that. But again, man, this dude is another dude that's quick. His hands is what I like about him. Active hands, and his hands is violent. He's able to get into guards, like the chest plate, and he's strong enough to bull rush, but he can also use speed as well. So I do think this is a guy. Now, do you want him to bulk up and be a nose? I don't know. Like you said, Pat, just get dudes in here, man. That, you know what I'm saying, that give you a good defensive line rotation. I think a guy like this in the later rounds is an excellent pickup for that reason, because you can have that rotation with him, Alexander, and we'll see if they bring in I feel like there's another guy on the roster, but maybe not. I think those guys are gone, Davison and the other cat. But what do you think about Damonte Capehart, and what do you like about him? This is one of your favorite kind of sleeper picks, Pat. Talk about him.
That is an absolute fact, bro. Capehart is a absolute sleeper. And I'm just going to throw it out there, man. I think he's a steal. If you get this dude in the 5th or 6th round, he is an absolute steal. 6'5", 313 with long arms, ran a 4.85 40. And when you look at this dude's tape, there is a lot of power there. Like, he put dudes on their behinds out there. Playing next to Peter Woods. I mean, he held his own, bro. And I do believe if you can get this guy the 5th or 6th round and have him as a stash pick, oh my goodness, because this is the dude that you bring in. He's very good against the run and can give you pass rush presence from the defensive tackle position as well. And I think this is a dude that could turn to be an all-around defensive tackle. Whether you want him to play nose or the 3 tech, don't matter where you put this guy at, he can be effective. He's one of those players that gets overlooked. But when he plays, it's like, man, this dude is effective at everything. You're going to see him celebrating, stopping a run. You're going to be in there getting in on sacks, and he's chasing them, and now he done ran into Brian Burns or somebody. Like, I like this dude, bro. And yes, he's from Clemson, so you can take it for what do you want to take it? Though, when you're looking for power in the defensive tackle position, Clemson is where you go. Those dudes are powerful, bro. Like, those are some dudes that move people. So
another one coming out in this draft.
Yeah, it's those dudes are powerful, and I really like this guy. If we could get a guy like this, and he could sit behind a DJ Reader and Alexander and what's the guy, Sears, and what's his name? I always forget his name. Robertson Harris. There we go. Roy Robertson Harris. And he can sit behind those guys, and you can just keep interchanging those dudes. Let's just say in the 2nd round we get a Lee Hunter or somebody, and then we can double and get, because we got 3 6th-round picks. Let's just say one of our 6th-round picks is him. So
nice.
You got Lee Hunter, Alexander, DJ Reader, Capehart, Robertson Harris, and we signed, I think, the Marvin Leal from Texas A&M. Who
they're gonna get another veteran too, though. Besides,
they talking about Shelby Harris, and this is the perfect dude to let him learn from. Shelby Harris is the perfect guy to let Capehart learn from, because Shelby Harris plays like that too. He's very good at both, and doesn't get the credit that they deserve because they're the fat boys. They're down there in the trenches. So you're not seeing the double teams and things that these dudes are taking on to allow the other guys to go in there and make the plays. So I love Capehart, bro. And 5th round target, I wouldn't mind taking a defensive tackle in the 2nd and the 5th, because we have our edge rushers. We need the fat boys in the middle. So Capehart, man, we could get him. I think it'd be one of the steals of the draft, bro.
I'm with you. On going for 2, on both sides of the line, because as you mentioned,
talking about a heavy trench draft. You gonna get it being the tabloids. They're gonna be talking about you.
Man.
The high flyers.
Nah, man. You can legit take, because remember you got those 3 top 50 picks, so you could take a Jordan Tyson or a Carnell Tate or somebody like that, and still hit your trenches. With the 2nd first round pick, and the you could take the guard, and then that 2nd round pick you could take Lee Hunter, and then we just gave you 4th and 5th round options on both guard and defensive tackle, so you can double dip. You know what I mean? Because what if you get a guy like Ione and then get Farmer, and then you get Lee Hunter and Capehart? Talk to me. You see what I'm saying? You can double dip at both. You got to build up these lines of your. I cannot say this enough. You will get whooped. Do you see what Dallas is doing?
Man,
Philadelphia is going to recruit a hella thing when they trade AJ Brown, so they're gonna get a first and some more shit. So they're gonna be able to bounce back. Like, don't sleep on your division. Washington, they swept you last year, so you can't laugh at them no more. So again, let's get busy in the trenches. So all right, man, we're gonna give you some honorable mentions real quick before we get out of here, man, and we're gonna wrap this up with that, man. But I'm loving talking about these trenches, these trench players, bro. I like this. This is becoming my thing. Let's get it. All right, man. Coming back with our honorable mentions. Now, we're going to start with Mr. Dominic Orange out of Iowa State.
Big Citrus.
The Big Citrus. He is 6'2", 322. And he is his arms are 33 3/8, and he ran a 5.3 40. Nose tackle. I like this kid, Dominic Orange, out of Iowa State, man. I think you can get him. Well, you might have to take him in like the 2nd or 3rd, but he definitely was on the honorable mention list here. Because I mean, like you say, just a pure nose tackle, man, that can get down and dirty in the trenches, man. That's what we talking about, man. Xavier Harris is another dude here, straight out of Ole Miss. Ole Miss, man. Who else is from Ole Miss? Oh yeah, we got a quarterback from Ole Miss. That's right. Another one. Nah, this dude is a monster though, man. 6'8", 330. Like, what you gonna do with this cat, man? He had 3 sacks, 58 tackles last season. 34 and 5/8-inch arm, monster of a human being. And yeah, you put him in there, man. If you get this kid in this 5th, 6th round, like we've been talking about, he's another big body cat you could develop to have in the middle right there. And then there's your guy right here, man, Tim Keenan III. And this kid right here, man, he's 6'1", 327, but he plays tough. And he's one of those big bodies, like we said, that can be stout, hold good leverage against the against the run or whatever. And knock on him is just the little arms, the short arms, 30.5-inch arms, which is why he's probably going to be in those later rounds. But this is your guy, Tim Keenan Allen III. I'll let you start with him, man, and just go through real quick on what you've seen from each guy, man, and what you think about him.
All right, we're gonna start with the little bowling ball and Tim Keenan, man. It's a little bowling ball out there, bro. He's definitely a nose tackle. You have to put him at the nose. What I like about him is that low center of gravity. He's just gonna have to learn hand placement with those little arms, man. That's the only reason why I think that he will be in that 6th, maybe 7th round, or maybe even undrafted. Who knows? Because of those small arms and that little frame and being at 6'1". But don't get it twisted. If he gets with the right team and they have the right scheme around him, he can be that bowling ball in the middle, man, and take on those blocks. Because I've seen him take on double teams in college and actually be successful. But the NFL is a different beast. They got bigger dudes with more strength and longer arms that will get in his chest if he's not low to the ground. So you're going to have to teach him have to have an even lower center of gravity when he's in the NFL. But I like Tim Keenan as a prospect. We could get him in the 6th round. I wouldn't be mad. Now, Mr. Xavier Harris, 6'8", 34-inch arm monster. They actually got 3 sacks at Ole Miss last year. The only thing about him, speed him up. He's going to have to get off the line of scrimmage a whole lot faster here in the NFL. And you will have to put him at nose tackle if he cannot cross these guards' faces because of lack of speed. These guards are strong too. They're not just some guys that you just can just throw around at will. You got to get them in the weight room, get them stronger, even though he's plenty strong right now. And you're gonna have to speed him up. You're gonna have to make him move those feet, man. He's a fat boy that's gonna have to learn how to move his feet a whole lot more in the NFL if he wants to be as successful as he was at Ole Miss. But I like Xavier Harris, a big monster. And if you do decide to put your hands in his chest, he can always lift that big arm up and knock that ball down at the line of scrimmage. And that is
that's why I like
helpful.
The dudes with the long, the tall dudes with the long arms. That is an advantage for sure.
That is the advantage. Even if you block him, he still can affect the play. That's why I like about Xavier Harris. Coach him up. And I think you got you a player in the later rounds. Now, the big citrus, you're going to have to take him in the 2nd round, I do believe. The big citrus is a mean man. That's a mean man, bro. Big 34-inch arms, I believe, 320. And I think that dude's bigger than 320. I think they lying. I think that dude in the 330 range. But the big citrus is a monster. Reminds of the guy that we lost, and Dexter Lawrence. He just gets in there. He just gets it. He knows how to split double teams. He uses his hands very well, knows how to pull a guard to the ground, knows how to get his arms in somebody's chest and just bullies them. So the big citrus, man, I like him in the 2nd round. And if they took him over Lee Hunter at 37, I would not be mad, because I think he's a little bit faster than Lee Hunter, and I think he's a little bit more advanced when it comes to using his hands. But neither one of those
seems
guys,
like a more polished.
Yeah, he's very polished. Big Citrus been doing his thing over there in Iowa State for a minute. So I like these prospects, man, but Xavier Harris is one I'm keeping my eyes on too, because that's a John Harbaugh type defensive tackle too. That big, just a big ass dude going down there. And if you do put two people on him, he lifts that big arm up and tips that ball. And who knows what happens when that ball goes in the air? So I like these honorable mentions, bro. Good job.
Yeah,
man.
Me too, man. Definitely, man. We're gonna have to get us some fat boys, Pat. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, real talk, bro. We need some big guys, some big dudes. We need to become the Giants again. You know, stop with these little guys. Stop with these skinny dudes. Stop with these soft-minded dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get tougher. Let's get stronger. Let's get bigger. And it starts up front. Hey, man, we got you covered right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network, Unpopular Opinion Sports, and Big Pat Sports Talk, man. Definitely appreciate this, man. This was dope, man. We will be live for the 2026 NFL Draft Thursday. Tap in. Me, myself, Pat, the Aboriginal Sports Network crew. We will all have it all covered. You know, plan to have it all covered all 3 days. So y'all keep it locked here, and definitely appreciate this, man. But any last words before we get out of here, Pat?
Yeah. Get the trenches back, man. It's the only way we're gonna be able to produce over here in the NFC East. We're built backwards, and then we're not even good built backwards. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the trench warfare on the offensive line, but we don't have the guys on the outside to try to overcome that. We're built backwards. We don't have the trench warfare on the defensive line, and then we don't have the cornerbacks to make up for it on the outside. And so that's why you see 3-14, 4-13, because we're built backwards, and we're not even good built backwards. At least you can have dominant corners to make up for, you know, what we don't have at the linebacker and the defensive tackle position, because we got the edges, but now we need that inner, that box. We need that trench warfare. We need that phone booth. We get knocked out of the phone booth on both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? They in there swinging, and our people sleep down there. They're like, man, what's going on? And then when they get to the outside, we don't even have the people to be like, hey, what you doing out here? We even got those people. They running through them too. So
right.
It is what it is, man. That's why you see the records that we're having. So, fat boys, man. That's all I got to say.
That's it, man. But we're going to see if they get them some fat boys Thursday, and we'll see you guys then. Appreciate y'all tapping in. And until next time, man, we up out of here.
Peace.